is Origins of the Silver War, the first documentary of the three that explains one of the best rivalries between teammates in Formula One. That was in 2014. This documentary is about these two drivers. At the left side, Nico Rosberg, German driver. At the right side, Lewis Hamilton, British driver, in the 2014 season. Why this documentary and this story is so popular between Formula One fans? Well, basically for different reasons, but probably the most important reasons why this documentary is so popular between fans, it's because of the fact these two drivers that you are seeing now, Nico Rosberg at the left side, Lewis Hamilton at the right side, these two drivers were really, really good friends. Super well friends since they were really young. For example, I picked some photos, you can see. This is Rosberg and Hamilton when they were competing in, I don't know, it was minor formulas in lower categories and riding in unicycle, spending time out of the track. They had a really, really great friendship long time ago, before even to come to Formula One, much earlier than that. So basically, when Nico Rosberg joins in Formula One or achieve a seat in Formula One in 2006 with Williams Racing, Lewis Hamilton enters in Formula One the next season in 2007 with McLaren. Hamilton is champion in next season in 2008 with McLaren. And Rosberg is still in Williams, I think. But in 2010, Nico Rosberg, the driver that is at the left side, Nico Rosberg joined for Mercedes, the Mercedes Formula One team. This is the cars that are driving in the documentary, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg, the driver with the black helmet, number 6. Just behind Lewis Hamilton, the driver with the helmet in yellow and white, number 44. This Mercedes car is the car that they drove during the documentary, you know, the Origins of the Silver War. And this car, this Mercedes car of 2014, was incredibly quick, super fast. This is the second season as a teammates of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg in Mercedes, because the previous year they were driving for Mercedes as well. Nico Rosberg enters or joins for Mercedes in 2010, and Lewis Hamilton joins in Mercedes 3 years later in 2013. And in that moment, two great friends are driving for the same team in Formula One. They dream, achieve, and driving in the same team as a teammates and as a friends. In 2013, they did a decent season, but they had not a great car to fight for the championship. They had a nice car. They won races even, but at that time, the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel was much faster and he won the championship. What happened in 2014 and why is so important what happened in 2014? In 2014, this car is the best by miles over the other cars of the grid. Because in 2014, we have a new era, new regulations in Formula One. We have different cars that are using a much different engine, V6 turbo engine, substituting the old V8 atmospheric engines. I will not try to get very technical this thing, but basically every team has to adapt a completely new engine in their cars. And Mercedes did an amazing job in the first season of these new regulations, and they built a super fast car. That means these two drivers that are really good friends for the first time ever, well, Hamilton for the second time in his career, because at that time he is 1-time Formula One world champion, they will fight for the championship between each other because the rest of the grid is so far away that they have no more rivals than each one. That means they will fight as a friends for the biggest dream possible a Formula One driver, a racing driver can have, that is to be Formula One world champion. And that's why this documentary is so popular, because in this documentary, guys, you will see how the friendship between these two drivers, that was really important, will be breaking little by little, race by race. As long as the championship gets close to the end and they are fighting for it, his friendship will be destroyed little by little, because at the end of the day, the most important thing for these drivers are to be champions. That's why they are working. His work is about to be the fastest. And in Formula 1, there are 2 drivers per team, but only one can be champion. So that's the problem. That's why the story is so popular. That's why people love so much this documentary, because it's a very, very human story about how a dream or a goal can destroy one of the best friendships in racing. This is the full grid of the 2014 season. As you can see here, we have the Mercedes of Rosberg and Hamilton. This is the team they will be driving for, and the rest of the grid. But as I said, Mercedes is clearly the best car, and they will have no rivals. Obviously, there are stronger teams as Ferrari with Raikkonen and Alonso, but in this season they had not too much. They were not very competitive. We have a message in the chat. I watch these dogs over and over. They never get old. Oh, nice. Probably the second best car was the Red Bull at that time with Sebastian Vettel, that the current world champion that season, and Daniel Ricciardo, the young Aussie that did an extraordinary 2014 season. But basically, Mercedes had no rivals.
Sort of launching this new era of silver arrows.
It's a huge difference between last year's car and this year's car.
We have full-on hybrid power now. It gives me 160 horsepower more.
The drivability is much better.
We have a lot more torque coming out of corners.
The hybrid first package, it's so strong.
We have the best car. New period of domination.
Okay, that was another short intro, apart from the first intro, that is very important, because here there are Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton talking about his car. They have the best car. A new period of domination was saying Nico Rosberg, and this is absolutely true. The drivers are confirmed that they now have the best car and they will fight for the championship between each other. That was a really, really short intro that I really need to make in the documentary to, make understand everyone that they have the best car and they will be fighting for the championship. It's a very, very important context intro I decided to put when I was creating the documentary. And now, by the way, move on to the first race of the season that normally in this era was in Australia, the Australian Grand Prix. Let's go for it.
Now willing this man on.
Okay. 2014 season. This is Daniel Ricciardo on wet conditions, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
He's on pole by 4/100ths of a second.
This moment, by the way, I really love it. You can listen the cheers of the Australian people. That was amazing. This is a qualifying session, the first qualifying of the 2014 season, the first qualifying session of the new era of the V6 turbo engines, and at some moment was Ricciardo, the local driver, on pole position, but it's not over yet.
And Melbourne is going wild.
Wait for Hamilton.
Here's Hamilton now. Can England snatch something back in Australia? Yes, they can.
Get pole.
0.3 of a second, and there's an eruption from the crowd once more.
That's important, because that was the first qualifying session of the season. And unfortunately, we saw something that was not repeat for the rest of the season. Another team that was not Mercedes fighting for pole position. Obviously, rain conditions helped to Daniel Ricciardo, the Red Bull driver, to get closer to the Mercedes drivers. Because, in wet conditions, normally you can do something more. And to, let's say, overcome the limitation of your car, thanks to your driving style on wet. That's why Ricciardo, that in this season probably is one of, I would say this is the best season ever of Daniel Ricciardo in Formula 1, I have to say. At that time, a very young Daniel Ricciardo. It was his second season in Formula 1 or third, I don't remember now. But very young, fighting for pole with the Mercedes. Unfortunately, that not happened in the rest of the season, but the beginning of this new era looks promising. But yeah, anyway, it was second for the race. and Hamilton on pole position. Hamilton starting on pole position in this new era.
I'm really happy for the job the team did, and the car was, these new cars are a lot harder to drive in the wet, and it was the first time for me driving in the wet, so, and I'm sure it was for a lot of people. So a serious task and challenge today, but...
And now Hamilton is saying that this is the first time they are running in wet conditions with these new cars, with these new engines, Previously, all seasons before, Lewis Hamilton was driving cars with the V8 engines that were atmospheric. Were much lighter, different in how they deploys the power, traction, very different, very, very different. So that's why Hamilton is commenting that he has to adapt to these new V6 turbo engines in wet conditions for the first time. They were testing these cars the previous month before the first Grand Prix here, but never did in wet conditions. So that's very important how Lewis Hamilton was able in his first wet race on these new cars to get pole. That's why he's saying that it was a really, really great challenge.
To be up here, for both me and Nico to be up here is a real great showing for the team. And it's obviously great to see Ricciardo up here for his first Grand Prix with Red Bull.
I think it was all a good qualifying session, and third is, I'm pleased with that. Could have been better, but third is okay. And I know that we have a quick race car, so from there, for sure, a good race is possible.
And at the other side, Nico Rosberg, that you can see on his face. Nico Rosberg is something that I really love from Nico is that you can read really easy his, how it feels watching his face. He cannot hide too much his feelings, if you look at his face, as we will see in this documentary and in the previous ones. And basically here you can see that he's disappointed because obviously he wants to get pole. He knows this is just race one, but at this point I'm sure both Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton knew that they will be fighting for the championship until the very last race between each other. So every single point counts, as we are seeing, for example, this season in 2025. Next Sunday, Piastri, Norris and Verstappen will fight for a championship that is really tight. In this case, Nico Rosberg knew that at that point, and that's why he's really disappointed, despite to finish third. That is a great position, but in the context that both knows they will fight for a championship, every point counts, and that's why he really wants to get pole, but he couldn't. And the problem is that between Lewis and him, it's Daniel Ricciardo, another car, so he will have to fight with Daniel and with Hamilton for the win in the race in the Australian Grand Prix. But he said that he has a quick car, and obviously he knows he can recover and to win in Australia. Sorry guys, I had to snooze. Sorry. And let's go for it. Let's see the race, the first race. This is the first race of the Silver War era, the 2014 Australian Grand Prix. Australia, Albert Park by the wall, Melbourne, and it's ready for the start. Hamilton in P1, pole position, and Lewis.
It's lights out, and away we go.
Oh, and Rosberg.
Really good start by Lewis Hamilton.
Great start by Rosberg, and Lewis Hamilton start was terrible, but maybe later on we will discover why.
Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Rosberg goes in.
Well, and Hamilton lose the place also with Daniel Ricciardo. So it's Rosberg first, Ricciardo second, and Hamilton third now. So Hamilton is the guy now, the driver who has to recover places.
Through past Magnussen all over Lewis Hamilton here, going into the next lap.
Keeps losing places, Lewis Hamilton. That was very weird at that point.
Magnussen has managed to get past.
Magnussen was in the McLaren. Kevin Magnussen at that time. McLaren was not much better car than the Mercedes at that time. Still losing places, you can see. Now it's P5.
Car's still driving. No, Lewis, we need to.
Oh, and that's massive.
We need to save the engine.
Massive disappointment for Mercedes.
Reliability issues for Lewis Hamilton. Race 1. I would like you think about it. In this new year, when a new era starts like this one, where we change engines, as for example, what we will have next season in 2026, we have a new regulation with new engines maybe that will happen as well. When you change engines that are completely different, reliability will be much lower, because it's normal. When you have something new, it's very difficult to in the first years to be perfect, to do everything perfect. So in this case, Mercedes, of the 4 engine suppliers we have this season, or 4 or 3, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Renault, I think we have 3. Mercedes was the best by far, but even there they have reliability issues with the engine, as we saw now with Lewis Hamilton. Race 1, boom, engine issues for Lewis Hamilton.
Mercedes and for Lewis Hamilton, 2 laps into the opening race.
2 laps, in just 2 laps.
Oh, he's now having to retire.
It's unbelievable. That's how it starts Lewis Hamilton, the season, the Silver War era, fighting with Rosberg with a 0, being retired in just 2 laps of this race. That was, I'm sure, super painful for Lewis, but fortunately it was only race 1. What happened with Nico then? Well, Nico is still racing. Pit stops. Still in P1, obviously.
It's Nico Rosberg who's going to confirm that favoritism.
And yeah, he wins.
Australian Grand Prix from a...
By far.
Well done, Nick.
That girl was his, or it's his wife's. Probably we will see later on.
Come on, guys, finish stuff. What a car you gave me. What a car, unbelievable. Brilliant job, mate.
Super happy, Nico.
It's incredible. Everybody's worked so hard over the winter, and now to have such an amazing silver arrow.
Exactly. As he said now in the podium, everyone worked really hard in the winter to have this rocket ship that was this Mercedes car. And let me find something. I would like to know by how much distance Nico Rosberg won that Grand Prix, because I would like to know, to understand the difference between the Mercedes and the rest of the cars. Let me find it, just because I'm really curious to see. Nico Rosberg won the 2014 Italian Grand Prix. Well, not by much. It's a lot. 26 seconds. It's a lot. But I'm sure he was driving at 50%. If Nico will have to push, to push at 100%, I'm sure he will be able to lap every single car. I'm sure of that. It was 26 seconds ahead of the McLaren of Kevin Magnussen and 30 seconds ahead of the other McLaren of Jenson Button. But I'm sure if probably Hamilton will be in this race involved, both will be finished first and second, almost lapping every single car. So that's what I want you to understand, guys. This car was so dominant, and they realized in these first races. My favorite, your favorite documentary, I understand. Go there. Thank you for writing in the chat. Most of the people love this documentary. Yes, exactly. As I said, Nico and Lewis at this point both knew they have a rocket ship, and as we saw in this race, no rival. Move on now to the second race, Malaysia. For the moment, Nico won in Australia, 25 points. Lewis Hamilton, 0 points. So that's forced to Lewis Hamilton at least to win the next race in Malaysia. Let's see what happened.
Confident, very confident with the car. I just hope reliability is something that plays well for me this weekend. And otherwise, yeah, I feel fit. I feel ready. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that we're going to be quick this weekend.
Exactly. Lewis Hamilton was asked by what happened in Australia with that engine issue, but he's confident. He's confident there was a problem, but from now, the reliability issues will not be the same, and he will be able to fight on track with Nico Rosberg. Now, let's go to the Malaysian Grand Prix, second round of the season. I miss this track, by the way. I would like this track come back to Formula 1. A lot of people love this track as well. It's really nice to see Formula 1 races. And I hope to see this track again in Formula 1 soon. Sepang International Circuit, Malaysia. round 2 of the 2014 season.
Gears are learned. Brakes are good now. Brakes are coming up straight away. And tyres are good as well.
Okay, Lewis Hamilton on pole position, by the way. Again, 2 races, 2 pole positions. Let's see Rosberg. P3, even it's not P2. Unbelievable. Because P2 in this race, I think it was Sebastian Vettel that did an incredible race here in Malaysia on the Red Bull car. And now let's see the start. It's Lewis. This time good start. And Nico, ooh, trying to block him by Sebastian. Sebastian trying to fight the place. And Nico is second. So Lewis is P2 now that stopped, but obviously will be P1 later on. Kill running. And I have to pass people that has not stopped yet, Lewis. That's why it was recovering places, but it's P1 virtually. Nice P1 again.
So you've got a group of 6 cars ahead, all traffic. Just be careful trying to get through. Okay, Lewis, you've got double yellow in the last corner, so Marshall's on track, Marshall's on track.
He was managing the traffic, the blue flags, but everything was under control in this race of Lewis Hamilton in P1. By the way, this tire that you can see is orange, at that time was the harder. The hard tire was painted in these orange stripes, you know. At that time we have not the classic red, yellow and white, you know, to define the tires. You know, in this era we have different compounds and every compound have his own color. And in this case, the hard tire was in orange.
Okay, Lewis, so you're on your final lap. Final lap, take no risks.
Lewis Hamilton.
And Lewis wins. Super happy.
And wins the Malaysian.
Niki Lauda. That was Niki Lauda with Toto Wolff at that time.
Race, Lewis. Awesome race.
Rosberg round the
And Rosberg finished second. So
2 for the Mercedes.
that's great.
Hamilton from Rosberg in Malaysia.
That's great because Nico did not win the race, but he finished second. That is the thing that Lewis was not able to do in Australia. That means Rosberg is still having a great advantage over Lewis Hamilton. So Nico Rosberg now will have 43 points and Lewis Hamilton 25 because the first race he retired. But super happy Lewis. Can you see these hugs, how they hug each other? The friendship here is still there. They are really good friends despite they are fighting for the championship. For the moment, you know, they are both winning races. They are enjoying his car, so no problems. Sebastian finished third, by the way. There is Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull. That probably here was the second fastest car. Great race by Sebastian, and here is Lewis super happy because this is the second win of Lewis Hamilton in Mercedes. The first one was the previous year in 2013 in the Hungarian Grand Prix. But obviously this victory means much more because, as I said, in this season both Lewis and Nico both knows that they are fighting for the championship. And Lewis, after the retirement in race 1, he really needs to get a win the next race, and that's what he did. Exactly what he needed. Game on. Oh, okay. We have to stop here. Move on to one of the best races of the last years, Bahrain Grand Prix 2014. Probably in the Civil War era, the battles between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, the duel they had both in this race in Bahrain was the best. We will see now in the documentary. But as always, remember, now in round 1, Nico Rosberg won the race. In round 2, Lewis Hamilton won the race. And now we are in round 3, Bahrain Grand Prix, round 3 of 19 of this season. So both Nico and Lewis have won before. Now is the time to see who is able to win for the second time this season in the context of the championship. As I said, both knows and they are fighting for the championship. So that's why to win here in Bahrain is so important for them. The driver who will be able to win here is sending a message to the other and the team. He's sending a message that I'm now the driver with more wins. I'm going for it. You know, that's the context I would like to explain very, very in detail, because that's why this rivalry between the Silver Arrows, by the way, this documentary is named as Origins of the Silver War, because the Silver War is the name I decided to place or to put it to this documentary, because the cars they are driving, the Mercedes cars, are painted in silver. And in motor racing, Mercedes is known as the Silver Arrows, because in most of the competitions they were involved, they paint their cars in silver with the silver paint. So when I created the documentary, I said, this is a battle between teammates, let's name this as the Silver War. That was the documentary I made in 2016, but this is the prequel. That's why the name is Origins of the Silver War. This documentary explains the origins of the rivalry, the origins of the war between the Mercedes teammate Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. So, as I said, round 3, let's go for it, guys. Let's enjoy this one. This is the race, guys. This is the race. It will be race. By the way, for the first time, because we all know that Bahrain Grand Prix at night time, but was not the same before. The Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race was in 2004, I think, the first race hosted in this circuit. And between 2004 and 2013, this race was celebrated at daytime, no under the lights. But since 2014, they start to celebrate this Grand Prix under the lights at night time. So this is the very, very first Bahrain Grand Prix at night time that I prefer, to be honest. It's much, much spectacular. I love night races. The cars look so beautiful. And as I said, this is the very first Grand Prix, Bahrain Grand Prix at night time. And it was really incredible. So let's watch it. It's Luis. Luis is starting in second place. It's not on pole for the first time. And Nico, first pole of the season in Bahrain. For the moment, Nico is leading. Let's see what happens in the start. True. True what I said about night races, I guess. So, let's go for it.
Okay, Lewis, just a reminder to look where the yellow line is on your right-hand side. You can see it. Just bear in mind where you are compared to that.
What that means? Let's watch it. Let's repeat again the message.
It is on your right-hand side. You can see it.
The engineer is talking to Luis. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's nice to remember that. People forget that was the first night race at Bahrain. And the engineer is talking to Luis about the yellow mark at the right side of the box. Basically, this yellow line is painted for the drivers to get a visual reference to know where they have to stop the car. Because if the drivers stop the car beyond the white line, they will be penalized. So this yellow line, it's some kind of reference, visual reference, where the drivers can look at the right side to see if his right tire is placed exactly in the yellow line. In that way, they know they are inside of the box and they will not penalize. And the engineer is telling, or remember to Luis that they have to place the car in the yellow line. Bahrain has to be night races. The daytime will literally boil drivers. Yeah, exactly. When we have in the past races where the drivers suffer a lot because of the heat, it's terrible. Here the heat is really high and the hot temperatures. And I prefer as well night races because I think also tire degradation is super high in Bahrain, and maybe we had great races also in daytime, but. For me, everything is better at nighttime. Drivers can push more. They can manage much better the tires. Yeah. So and also for them, as you said, it's easier in terms of physical condition. You know, they can survive a bit better in these temperatures. So as I said, this is the prelude of the race. As you can see in the edit of this race, I really make a really long intro to prepare the spectator or the viewer to what he will going to see. That is an amazing battle between Nico and Luis in this race.
Just bear in mind where you are compared to that.
I love that, by the way, this shot from Nico pulling down the visor before the race start, and with this song that is super, super epic at the same and dark, and it's one of my... Probably this is my favorite edit of all I've made for the documentary. My favorite edit. I spent so much time editing this race. I had to edit so much footage because the battle between these two was super, super long. Preds for tomorrow. For tomorrow qualifying, I mean. For me, Lando Norris last year was really fast, so I would say Lando should be on pole. But this is Formula 1, so let's see what happens. Let's go, let's watch the race.
And away we go, and who's got the best start out of the front? Looks like Rosberg ahead of Hamilton, who will have the inside line to turn one.
Both Mercedes, Hamilton attacking by the inside to Nico.
Hamilton tries to go down on the
And he have it.
Hamilton nicks the lead for his teammate Nico Rosberg.
But Nico will come back now.
Turn 4, tries to make a move round the outside.
Oh, very close.
He's going to have
On the limit. It's forced wide.
but there was no
This is the first of many we will see now. Hamilton passed Nico by the inside, and he... I will not say that he pushed him wide. He has the corner, he's in front. But very on the limit.
contact.
Yeah, it's same. Landon looks good. Yeah, looks good. Let's see what happens. But this last race, a lot of pressure inside of the driver, so let's see what happens.
Made, and it's Hamilton that leads them down.
So Hamilton now leads. Nico lost the place.
Rosberg against Hamilton.
And-
Hamilton fights back. Rosberg has to...
Nico passed again Lewis, but he's not able to maintain the gap, and is passed by Lewis again. But Nico have pace as well. They are really matched, as you can see. They are fighting since the beginning of the race.
Cede the lead within a matter of meters.
Now Nico is second.
Try on the inside again. Rosberg, he's got DRS this time.
Once again attacking.
Locks up as well as Nick.
Oh, both locking there. Nico is first now.
Me like it does.
But Hamilton had the advantage now.
Just couldn't get the traction to fight right back.
Oh, by the outside.
Towards turn 4 we go. Towards the outside of the track. Hamilton is put.
That move was really great.
Hamilton now trying
Really intelligent.
This is where Rosberg went off on the first lap. This is where Hamilton
Amazing overtake.
leads the lead back again.
That was really intelligent by Lewis. Were the DRS zones the same as they are now? To be honest, I don't remember. I think yes, they should be. But I'm not sure if they had DRS in the second straight. I'm not sure of that, because in this shot we don't see Hamilton and Rosberg open up the DRS. Maybe they only have one zone, but to be honest, I don't remember. Let's check this move again. It's very interesting because let's check something. If you remember in the previous laps, Lewis pushed wide Nico to maintain the place, or let's say that he gives Lewis not too much room. In this time, it's in the opposite situation. Lewis is the driver who has to pass Nico, and maybe thought that if he tried the outside, as Nico tried to Lewis, yeah, sadly, I think maybe they have not. Look at this footage, they are not opening DRS. Probably they have not this zone of DRS at that time, maybe. So, Lewis Hamilton maybe at this time is thinking that he's tried the outside as Nico tried to Lewis. Nico will do the same with Lewis. You know, so look how intelligent was here Lewis.
Turn 4 we go.
He goes by the outside,
Towards the outside of the track.
but he stopped the car, lets Nico to take the normal line, and he decided to go by the inside to get more traction. And Nico is expecting that Lewis will extend the braking by the outside, so it will going wider, losing a bit of time. And in that moment, Lewis Hamilton have much better traction. Exactly. Nico made the mistake of allowing a switchback. Should have covered it. Exactly. But it was a very good, nice move by Lewis here.
Hamilton is pushed.
So now, here, Lewis had the inside and much more traction.
Rosberg makes his move
You can see here.
around that right-hander. Hamilton now trying to fight back.
Now they are wheel to wheel. And the next corner, the inside is for Lewis, because the next corner is a right-hand side corner. So, super brilliant move by Lewis. That shows why it was really good. Shows why at that time Lewis was world champion and Nico was not. For these little details, you know.
Down the hill. This is where Rosberg went off on the first lap.
Nico here tried as hard as possible to maintain, but the problem is in the dirty side. Much less grip here by this line. So it's impossible to maintain the wheel to wheel.
This is where Hamilton on lap 19 regains the lead
It was close. Really nice battle.
back again. And into the pits.
Box for Lewis.
Hamilton.
A good stop.
Okay, Lewis, we need to manage.
Obviously, in the documentary, I think I did not show the Rosberg's pit stop, but it will stop later on. Also, could have brake super hard. Wouldn't have allowed the switch back. Yeah, exactly. Alonso, sorry, Alonso. Yeah, no, Alonso. I'm sure he will probably will be able to maintain him behind. Probably, I don't know, but Alonso is really good defending.
These tyres, get the most out of them.
Under the lights. Now stops Nico. Go for the hard. I think in this time Nico was on hard now. Sorry, on medium. So I have the white tire in this season is a medium. Okay, we have to name the white tire medium, and the yellow is the soft. It's not the medium. Okay, it's hard to remember because now we have the yellow as the no, sorry. Actually, the yellow tire is the medium, but at this time the yellow tire was the soft, and the white tire is not the hard; it's the medium in this documentary. So Nico is on medium and Luis is on soft in the second stint. Exactly, yes, and yellows are soft. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Reds are super soft, purple, ultra soft. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if this time they have ultra soft. I don't remember. But yeah, basically it's what you said. Exactly.
Okay, Lewis, we're safe on fuel, so no more lift and coast. No more lift and coast.
So, important. Now, Hamilton have not to manage fuel. He can go faster.
I heard you, man. I'm looking at my tires.
Okay, and Hamilton here is a bit... not angry, but you know, it's in the context of the race, really focused. He's looking after his tires. Wow, I forget that. What a crash! And this time they have no halo. Fortunately, the driver was okay. I think it was Pastor Maldonado, the Lotus team, and the car that is in reverse or in the it's Adrian Sutil, I think, in the Sauber.
And Pastor Maldonado.
No, Esteban Gutierrez, sorry. It was Esteban Gutierrez, the Mexican driver. The driver who crashed in the Sauber.
Together down at turn 1, I assume.
Well, safety car, guys. Very important.
Rosberg pits to Hamilton has now lost is the advantage he built up on the track. Now he switches on to the slower medium compound tyre.
Now the thing is this safety car was terrible for Luis because he has to put the hard tire, and Nico has medium, the white tire, the medium, and Nico now can use the soft because he put the medium tire in the previous stint. So that means and the gap between Luis and Rosberg is 0 with the safety car. So basically that means in the final stint Hamilton has to maintain Rosberg behind in a slower compound tire, and at the same time Nico in faster tires has the opportunity to win this race, you know. And here is where we will going to see an incredible battle for the race, for the win. Probably the best moment of the documentary and the best battle these two drivers had. It's amazing. In the context of the documentary, I tried to put a really intense, epic music to make people understand this battle was amazing, and we will see now. It's unbelievable. Lewis Hamilton is asking, is Nico stop for new tires?
It's Nico behind on the option tyre.
On the option, and this time we only have two different compounds per week. And the option, engineers name option to normally to the faster tire, normally. Not always, but normally. Or let's say the tire that is less common to use as well during the weekend. In this case, the standard tire was the medium, but basically the engineer is saying to Luis, yeah, Nico is on soft and you are on medium, so he has the advantage, and he knows that now.
Lewis, it's Paddy. 10 laps left to race. Can we just make sure we bring both cars home?
Important, Paddy Lowe. This is Paddy Lowe that was I don't know how to explain the role he had. It was like I don't know if it's technical director, but let's see that it's a very important person here at this in this season in the team. And Paddy's sending the same message to both drivers, as we will see now.
Nico's Paddy here. There are about 10 laps left to race. Can we just make sure we bring both cars away?
Okay.
Basically, Paddy Lowe here is telling to Lewis and Nico, okay, you can compete each other, you can race each other, but please don't crash. We have to bring these cars home 1 and 2. Let's allow the competition between both drivers, but please don't crash. Is the only thing we say to both of them, And fortunately, both drivers understood the message. So here we go, final laps of the race. Nico in the faster tires behind, Hamilton ahead in the slower tire. That means we will have fun.
Safety car pulls away and the cars fly down the main straight. It's
Here we go. Ooh, now the inside, more traction, better tires. He has to use now the grip Nico Rosberg has to use the advantage of these tires. No DRS, I think.
the two Mercedes into turn 4.
By the inside again, same mistake. Oh,
Is that Rosberg squeezing us?
the same. Nico for the second time tried the outside, but he's thinking he will push me wide again, and he give up. But he knows he have more opportunities.
Is that Hamilton squeezing his way? It's Hamilton just in the lead from Nico Rosberg.
I don't remember. I love this mechanic putting his hand on his face, like saying, "Please don't touch, don't crash each other, please." I reflects really well the feelings of the team probably at this point.
You're ready to attack. It will be strapped 6 and you can use the overtake. Battery is
A very interesting detail. The engineer is telling to Nico,
to attack.
ready to attack will be Strat 6. That is an engine mode they have. I don't know too much about it, but basically it's an engine mode, probably to have more power. And can you see in the dashboard of Nico that it now puts 59? This is very biased, I think. Once the engineer says will be Strat 6, you can see how Nico switched to a Strat 6. Look at in the dash.
Will be strapped 6 and you can
Now.
use the overtake. Battery is 80%.
So basically, Nico is charging batteries to attack Lewis in the straight. And Lewis is said by the engineer, Lewis, you can use overtake. The overtake button is basically a button that allows to the car to deploy much more energy to have much more speed. It's for overtaking, but also to defend. In this case, Hamilton is using to defend from Nico to be faster on the straights.
So use overtake where you need it.
So here we go. It's Nico. Look, he have it. Oh, by the inside. Nice dive bomb.
Is this the lead now?
But
Hamilton.
Hamilton is still ahead.
There's no team orders going on the Mercedes.
Rosberg will be way.
Here we go again. By the outside.
Hamilton's covered the inside.
Oh, this is really hard.
Stickier tyres.
You have it now.
Better traction too.
Whoa.
Will he leave him any
Oh, on the limit.
The track. He's got
But they had the advantage, Lewis. Again in the inside.
he now has to.
Again, he tried. Again and again, he's trying the outside. But if we see,
get on the throttle, but
Lewis Hamilton is covered the inside once again.
Hamilton's covered the inside line.
Now Nico thinks at this point that probably if he extends all of the braking using the more grip of his tires, can stay ahead the full sequence in this corner and to maintain the lead. But Lewis Hamilton was so good maintaining the side by side in the braking
Those stickier tyres.
at this point.
Rosberg giving him better traction too.
The problem is at this point, Nico is on the faster tire, but once again Lewis is in the inside, much more grip, even in the harder compound tire. That's why Nico should try to what Lewis Hamilton did to him previously, the switchback. But he thought maybe on these tires could have an opportunity even by the outside.
Will he leave him any space?
He's gone off the track. He's gone completely off the track.
Amazing battle.
But he's certainly not given up yet. He now has to as Hamilton slots back into the lead again.
Here we go.
But he's going to go for it down the inside.
But it was not enough.
Yes.
Too wide.
Lewis Hamilton comes back into the lead once more. It's Lewis Hamilton.
And finally, Hamilton wins this unbelievable battle. What a battle! I enjoyed when I watched the race live. I think everyone enjoyed a lot, I'm sure. And now when I had the opportunity to edit this moment in the documentary, I also really enjoyed putting the music, the footage, well, it's one of the races we will remember. You know, was so good battle.
Once again wins the Grand Prix.
Hamilton super happy, obviously.
Bahrain from his teammate Nico Rosberg.
Fantastic job to pick him down. He didn't really have the pace at the start of the garage, but he still held on to it.
Fantastic
Perfect.
job, Nico. And best of all, great racing. Very well done.
And then someone should tell me that the sport is boring.
I love this message from Nico. Then someone should tell me that the sport is boring. It's not boring, man. Formula 1 is not boring. We all know, people who we are fans. Now fireworks. And that's very important. Now you will see why, actually, at this point of the season, Nico and Hamilton are still being really good friends. Because after this incredible battle, Nico lost and probably will be really frustrated. But you will see how, at the same time, he's happy because of the nice battle he has with his teammate and his friend Lewis Hamilton. Look at that. This kind of, you know, fake fighting, like very good friends. You know, you can see here that they are really good friends and the relationship is really good at this point of the season. Look at that. Now Nico is hugging by the back to Lewis, like saying, man, what a battle, what a battle. We did a great show. You can see how well they get along. Oh, how soon that relationship will change. Exactly. Will change a lot. I remember what they did in this race. And you can listen in the background Nico Rosberg saying the S word that I will not say it here because you know. But I mean, Nico is happy because of the battle he had with his friend, but at the same time is you know, frustrated because he had it. It was fast. He had the faster tires and he was not able to pass Lewis. A young Perez in the back. Yeah, a very young Perez. It was third place in Force India. It was at that time. Look at this. How much friends they are after this great battle. And when I see these images, it's a shame. It's sad to see what happened after this. But you know, this is Formula 1. Where we are not here to be friends. Unfortunately, drivers are here to be champions and to be the fastest.
You know what I thought? Our first race, we raced together in where was it? Italy. And I was behind you the whole way, and right at the end I got you. I was like, he's going to do that to me today. Last lap, he's going to push.
Here I think Hamilton is commenting to Nico that this race remembered to him to one race they had both when he was, I think, was competing in karting in Italy, he said. Very, very similar race when both were fighting for the win, and that moment reminds him to that race they had a lot of years ago.
Yeah, it was exciting. Nico drove fantastically well throughout the race and very fair, and it was very, very hard to keep him behind. Particularly at the end, I built a gap that was okay, but he was very fast on the option tire, so I was on the knife edge the whole time. But it was great fun and, of course, a real relief when I got across the line.
Well, I strongly dislike coming second to Lewis.
Exactly.
It's really not something I enjoy doing. But on the other hand, though, it was definitely the most exciting race I've ever done in my whole career. You know, so
look at what he said. The most exciting race he had in his career. So it was great.
And I hope we were able to give all of you fantastic racing in front of the TV. I think today was a day for the sport. You know, we put on a massive show as Team Silver Arrows. So I hope you had a lot of fun in front of the TV, and I'll be back next race to take the win.
I really like what he said, Nico. He's thinking in the people, in the spectators that were watching the TV. Looking forward to seeing a documentary in the 2021 season. J. Amar Bascom, I have good news for you. I made a 2021 documentary. Later on, well, I can show you basically. Not now because I want to, but basically in my web you can find it. In my website, videos, let's put 2021. The 8th and 1. Basically, this is the documentary I made some years ago about the 2021 season. Obviously, this documentary we will watch together later on, but you can enjoy it. So, and I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope it makes your day. The 8th and 1 F1 2021. In my website, you can watch it, dannyfloth.com. Probably the link is in the description, so you can enjoy it. What I was saying, I forget it. Yeah, that Nico Rosberg was thinking in the spectators, in the people, in the show, and that's nice. Well, so 3 races. Lewis Hamilton 50 points, Nico 61. Lewis Hamilton won the previous 2 races, Bahrain and Malaysia. But Nico is really consistent, so still having the gap that he gained in the first race when he won and Lewis Hamilton was retired. But now the gap is just 11 points, so you know they are really close. And we move on to round 4, that I think was in China, maybe. I think it was China. Let me.
Now, though,
yeah, China. It's qualifying session. Wet conditions. Oh.
Spinning almost by the checkered flag.
Nico spin.
Lewis Hamilton on pole once more in
pole position for Lewis. So 3 of 4.
Third pole for Hamilton. He made it look easy today.
What sort of satisfaction do you get from?
Once again, in wet conditions, Lewis is the best. He did pole in Australia in wet again in China. Pole. So now in qualifying, Lewis is beating Nico 3-1. That's very important. Also qualifying, that's not all his races. For the moment, Nico should to improve in qualifying session. He got pole in Bahrain, but it's 3-1 for Lewis.
Definitely the most when it's raining and it is so slippery out there. The conditioning is trying to find the grip, obviously not making mistakes on your lap and really putting it together, especially when you have these guys pushing you. So it was a tough session. I really enjoyed it. The car was feeling great. I think we definitely could be. We always have stuff we can improve on, but the team have done a great job for this weekend. So put a good position for the race. I hope that we can follow through tomorrow.
Lewis Hamilton very happy, and now let's see the race. So Lewis is on pole, and Nico with the span. I think it was really far away. P4.
Just right.
Okay, this is very important. In this race, I think Nico Rosberg had a very important problem with the telemetry. He lost most of the data of the car. So during this race, Nico Rosberg had, we will see, I think I put a lot of messages about it in this race. He had a lot of troubles with he had to manage a lot of things, fuel, a lot of things, because most of the telemetry was off. So it was an incredibly difficult race for Nico. Starting on P4, so he needs to recover places to catch Lewis. Well, Danny, have fun, I got asleep. Okay, man. Have a good night, and thank you so much for stay here watching. Anyway, you can watch the replay of this live tomorrow, in case you would like to continue watching with me the documentary. In the replay, you can watch it. And as I said, thank you for staying here. Have a good time, and yeah, a nice sleep or dream, sweet dreams. So thank you for staying here, man. Let's watch the race.
It's lights out, and away we go.
Here we go. By the way, in front of Nico are both Red Bull. Oh, it's losing places. P6 now.
He's now making a move. Sebastian Vettel. He touches with.
Ooh. And Nico is. Ah, wow. I forget that. He crashed into the Williams of Felipe Massa. He was lucky there. He did not break the suspension. But it could be the end of the race for Nico. Ah, no, it was with Bottas. He crashed into Valtteri Bottas. That was in Williams at that time, in the white car.
Check my smuggling and everything.
Okay.
That's possibly rubber in the front wing, Nico.
Wow.
Possibly rubber in the front wing.
No problem. Rubber is a minor problem in comparison to the big hit he had.
Hamilton already quite a long way clear.
So it's Hamilton.
Making a move on.
I think it's Vettel, Alonso, or Ricciardo. I don't know the Red Bull who is. And then it's Nico fighting with Hülkenberg in the Force India.
14, Grosjean on Kimi Räikkönen as well, going wheel to wheel.
Oh.
Goes through on the inside, past Nico.
Very fighty. Hulkenberg. Already passed him. P5 now. It's passing Massa.
Getting past Felipe Massa.
Sadly.
Okay, so we have no
That's a problem.
expecting to have any in the race. So we will get you to start looking at the fuel later.
So basically now that's a problem. Basically the telemetry is what engineers needs from the car to understand that the car is okay. Try pressure, fuel, everything. So that's why I think at some point of the race, even the engineer will ask to Nico that he has to check his dashboard to see the level of fuel every lap to avoid being empty at the end of the race. So Nico had to do a lot of things in this race, as I said before.
They're looking quite good. All great on the left front, but not causing any problem.
What's down the straight is now
Luis managing the car really well.
In Germany, he's gone past his marks as well, which just slows it down a little bit.
Good stop. Nico keep recovering places, passing a Toro Rosso. P5.
He's lost a lot of
P4 now passing undercut the Red Bull.
Start finish line. Can you read the number on the lower left of the dash? It's fuel remaining.
Exactly. Listen, the engineer is asking for Nico, please tell me the level of fuel you have now, because we have no telemetry in the garage. We need to know how much fuel you have. And Nico is saying here 71.9. So multitasking Nico Rosberg in this race.
71.9, 71.9.
So you have more fuel at this point than youthful target, so fuel is good.
Nice, no problem.
they need to bring.
Well, that was that's Hamilton that have a little moment there, but nothing serious.
Still feel really good, as well as the rear.
They said that the tires feel good.
between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. He's gaining, he's gaining.
Oh, this is Vettel, I think, with Rosberg.
And in looking up, forces Sebastian Vettel a little deeper.
Wow.
Champion would have wanted. Now the drag towards the final corner. And Rosberg, does he stay in front? Yes, he does.
Podium for Nico. Very hard fight with Sebastian. At that time, Sebastian Vettel was the current world champion. Four times Formula 1 world champion. He was the driver that was dominating Formula 1, as is now Max Verstappen, exactly at the same point. At that point, Vettel won 4 consecutive championships. As exactly as Max Verstappen is now doing, winning 4 times in a row the championship. So at that time, Vettel, obviously in this season he will not be able to win again, but at that time Vettel was like the reference driver, and you can see in these fights that Vettel was really aggressive and defending.
Yeah, this might not be.
And this is Alonso, by the way, in the Ferrari.
Line. He's almost alongside Alonso.
At this point, you can see how much faster was the Mercedes engine in comparison to the rest. Look at Nico here pass Alonso in the middle of the long straight. You don't need even to wait until the braking. The Mercedes engine was so much powerful that you can see here how much easy the Mercedes passed the rest of the cars.
Advantage, so not only is he up in the second
P2.
place, but he can start to pull away even before he has to put the...
Alonso finished third, by the way, in this race.
So Lewis is 15 seconds.
Too much.
now to take the checkered flag.
Lewis wins again.
And win for the 3rd time in a row as well. It's Lewis Hamilton that wins the Chinese Grand Prix.
Once again. Easy. Easy win.
Good job, guys, this weekend. Really happy with all of the input and what a great race. Thanks so much.
And we look back now.
And Nico finished second. Great race by Nico.
Now crosses the line.
Excellent drive, Nico. Excellent drive. P2. Really good drive. Well done. No telemetry.
Exactly. Great race by Nico because he had no telemetry. So basically now, Lewis Hamilton, I did not put here the driver standings, but I think Nico is leading now by only 4 points, I think. Lewis won the last 3 races. Of the 4 races, Lewis won 3 and Rosberg won only 1. But now the gap between them is I think it's 4 points only. It's Nico leading by only 4 points. So Nico at some point has to win again if he wants to send a message to the team and Lewis and say, no, I will go in for the championship as well. I will not accept Lewis still winning. I need to win more. I need to win again. And in the next round, that is Spain, is the occasion where he can do it. So here we go. Let's see if finally Nico gets pole.
25-4, so he has stretched the advantage a little bit at the top of the field.
But
Hamilton wrestle it back again. It's another
no, another pole position, guys.
25-2. That's 4 out of 5 poles in 2014.
Once again, Lewis has been fastest than Nico Rosberg in qualifying. I think it's the fourth time Lewis beat Nico in qualifying, and you can see Nico here. I think this is just theory, but I think in this point of the season, they are still friends and everything. But in this point of the season, Lewis is winning everything, and in qualifying is beating Nico constantly. And I think this is the point where Nico starts to say, "Okay, we are friends. That's nice. We are having fun, fighting for the championship. But I need to win. I need to do something to start to win. I don't want to lose every single race against Lewis, my teammate, in the same car. This is something every driver hates. The thing that a Formula 1 driver hates most is to lose against his teammate, because you are driving the same car. It's the only driver you can compare fairly, and Nico is being beaten constantly now. And Nico needs to send a message, and he knows. I think this is the moment where Nico's faces start to change, like saying, "Okay, guys, this is real. I need to do something. I need to start to win to beat my friend Lewis Hamilton." And in the other side, Lewis is really happy. He feels superior to Nico. He's beating Nico constantly. So let's see what happened today. Hamilton now P1, Nico P2. For the first time in a long time, they are close each other in the grid.
Most underway here in Spain. It's lights out and away we go. And look,
here we go.
Daniel Ricciardo gets a good getaway. Bottas covers them both. Hamilton.
Good start by Lewis and Nico as well. Well, Nico not too much. He's fighting with the Williams. Ooh.
From Romain Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen squeezes past Fernando Alonso.
But
has made up a couple of places as well.
Both save it.
Leads them up the hill ahead of Nico Rosberg and Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay, Lewis. Nico using third gear, turn 10. Think about that. So you were half a tenth slower last lap, gap at 1.8.
Okay, they are really close each other. Lewis first and Nico second. And the engineer of Lewis is telling information about the driving of Nico in the corners to try to gain an advantage. So there's start to be a war also between garages. It's very, very important this moment. This race is very important, and a lot of people thinks that here that was in Monaco where the friendship was broken, but in this race will have a very important impact also for the future relationship of Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton.
Race leader pits as well.
Pits Lewis.
Not long now, Lewis.
Good pit stop.
And Rosberg's going to come in.
Now Nico is on medium tire, and he will switch to hard.
Compound tyres, so they're going counter to what Lewis Hamilton did.
Push hard, Nico, your position is safe. You're just looking to close the gap to Lewis to 2 seconds at the end of this stint. Please give me a...
So now they are opposite. Hamilton is on the medium, on the white tire, and Nico is on the hard. That means at the end, in the final stint, we will have a similar situation to Bahrain, that Rosberg will be on the fastest tire in the final stint, and Lewis will be on the harder tire, on the slower tire in the final stint. So Lewis Hamilton will have to defend against Nico, probably.
And I've got too much over here. My rear end's everywhere.
Well, Lewis Hamilton a bit concerned now.
0 to Nico, last lap gap at 3.8.
3.8.
Last couple laps, man.
Just been letting you get through the traffic.
There's Nico.
Here in the voices of Lewis, you can feel how he's concerned about this race. He's not confident enough he will be able to win still. I think he knows that Nico will be really fast in the second stint, and he needs to open the gap up as much as possible, but he's only 3.8 seconds ahead. That is not too much. And is now Nico looking up. Nico is giving everything he has, because he needs to stay closer for the final stint. So here we go.
For his pit stop, Nico Rosberg takes over the lead.
Okay.
Spanish Grand Prix.
Good pit stop.
To the hard compound tyre.
Now it's on hard.
Too slow.
No, pace was good at the end of that stint.
Then why did you bring me in?
We're keeping you on the optimum strategy, Lewis, optimum strategy. So we are currently 4 seconds safe to Nico, 4 seconds.
He said I need 5.5.
So Nico boxing this lap, we are 4.8 seconds safe.
3 seconds.
So that's very important. Lewis Hamilton is really concerned. He pits first. He knows that have a bit of gap that he built in the previous stint on the faster tire, but now it's the opposite. Now Nico will be in the faster tire.
The pit stop for Nico Rosberg. So
Put the medium.
time in Rosberg's favour. Now this
His wife.
at times has been.
And this is the gap. This is the gap that is around 4 seconds for the final stint. But remember, Nico is on the faster tire now. The car in the middle is a lap car.
And as they cross the line now, the gap is under a second.
So we can have a similar situation to Bahrain. Let's see what happened. Can Nico pass finally Lewis in this race, as he couldn't in Bahrain? Can Lewis Hamilton defend so good as he did in Bahrain?
Rosberg is closing. He's not closed enough to have a go. It's
Close.
corner, but he's still got just that little bit of time to get it done.
It's really close.
The gap has closed down dramatically here, and Rosberg.
Oh, it's there. Look at the braking.
Hamilton fighting to protect.
Wow.
He's won the last 3 Grand Prix.
Ah, they have it. He have it again. Unbelievable.
Teammate in the championship. Up to
Once again.
time. It's the Spanish Grand Prix.
Lewis Hamilton wins again. And now is the new championship leader after 4 consecutive victories. Nico once again was not able to beat Lewis. That's very important. Second time on the faster tire, second time Lewis is able to finish ahead. That's really important in the championship contest, in the friendship contest, as we will see during the documentary. Lewis Hamilton perfect. New championship leader.
And the championship lead for Lewis Hamilton.
Good stuff there, Lewis. Pretty close to comfort at the end, but yeah, you did it, man. You did it.
Good effort, Nico. Good effort. Well done, mate.
Nico don't say anything. Lewis very happy, obviously. New championship leader. Here the relationship is still very good. You can see.
Struggled a lot with the.
But look at the faces. This face don't say the same. Nico's is really here is probably, I don't know. I know Nico, but at this point, he knows in the first 5 races of the season he only won 1. Lewis Hamilton won 4 races. In qualifying, Rosberg get 1 pole position and Lewis got 4 pole positions. You know, for the moment, Lewis is being much faster, much better than Nico Rosberg. Yeah, only have 4 points gap or 3 points gap with Rosberg in the championship because of the retirement of Lewis in Australia. But it's irrelevant. Lewis Hamilton was by far the best driver in the first 5 races, and Nico knows that. If you know, if this is the trending, Nico is impossible he will win this championship with this with these stats.
And really had to rely on my engineers a lot more to give me the gaps and try to find where I could find time. And also with all my settings, I was moving them up and down, really trying to find extra time.
This is very important what Lewis Hamilton said here. He said that this was, touching switches and buttons and engine modes to try to gain advantage, to gain more engine power. And this is a story that is not telling the documentary, but here is where starts the first conflict between the Nico and Lewis, because this is rumors. We cannot say 100% that happened. It's something that some people said that they were really well informed. But basically, during this race, Lewis was touching things that he shouldn't, because inside of the team they have rules about what switches can turn on and turn off during the races to have more reliability, to avoid different problems they can have. And looks, this is rumors, I will say again, that Lewis Hamilton was using engine modes that shouldn't, because probably they were very aggressive. And looks that happened, and for some reason Rosberg and Lewis knew that, and maybe they had some kind of conflict between them because of that, because and here is where, let's say that they are still friends, obviously the relationship is good, but they are starting to play with all tricks possible. This is what I want to say, because they are trying to fight for the championship, and this is where things get serious. And this is what we want to see in the next race.
But Nico was just generally quicker this weekend, but fortunately I was able to keep him behind.
How many laps do you think you needed to pass him?
I think one more, to be honest.
One more.
A good go. Like,
all drivers say the same. All drivers say the same when they are asked by how many laps do you think? All drivers say the same. No, in the next lap I will have it. I will have it.
Just enough to give it a go there, but next lap I would have. But unfortunately, that was it. So a bit gutted, but still, you know, second place, still close in the championship, and many more races to go, anyways.
Yeah, many more races, but you need to win, Nico, and you know. Here we go. Monaco. This is the moment, guys. This is the moment. Let's watch a qualifying session.
We now watch Nico Rosberg start what will be his final lap of this qualifying session. His teammate Lewis Hamilton just coming round to...
You can see, very important, this is the final lap in qualifying when they are fighting for pole in Monaco. We know Monaco is extremely important to be on pole because it's impossible to pass. So the driver who will be on pole probably will be the winner of this race. And this is the final try, and this is something really interesting. At the right side, you can see this Mercedes. It's Lewis Hamilton preparing the lap. It's not starting the lap. It has to complete the lap. And at this side is Nico starting the lap. So that's very, very important to know because of what will happen. So Nico, in the final try in Q3, starts first the lap before than Lewis. And at this point of the qualifying session, at this point, Nico is in pole position, in provisional pole position, and Lewis is second. But they both have the last try. And Nico in front, and then will finish the lap after Nico Lewis in the last try to get pole.
Just coming round to back now. So if Rosberg...
Here we go. This is Rosberg at the left side.
Picks up the throttle.
Rosberg.
Wanders around that big bump. Oh, that's...
And that's Rosberg's qualifying over...
Mistake by Nico. But
of Lewis Hamilton there. Let's pick him up now.
Backed off through the yellow.
Yellow turn.
Obviously Nico.
Yeah, very good of him. Very good.
And this is the polemic. Nico goes wide. Nico starts the lap first. That means Nico went wide and there are yellow flags. Obviously now Hamilton that is behind cannot improve his lap times under yellow flag condition. And it's the last lap. There is no time to do more laps. So basically, Lewis Hamilton is said here, that was very good for him, very good, like saying that yellow flag, ironically was very good for Nico because it means he secures pole. It's not saying that he did it on purpose, but, you know, it's sending the message that that yellow flag was very good for Nico. You know what I mean?
It's Rosberg who makes the mistake, and it's a mistake means his teammate can't snatch pole away from him.
Exactly.
He's not going to be
super angry. Hamilton is really angry. I'm sure at that point Hamilton is thinking that Nico Rosberg did it on purpose. You know, to secure pole. Nico obviously is very happy. He's on pole. Finally beat Lewis.
He's going to celebrate pole anyway, and I wonder if this is the mind games we're seeing a bit. Hamilton is...
Look at the face of Lewis Hamilton. It says everything.
Not a happy man. That is for sure. Nico Rosberg's on pole for the second year running.
And let's go to the press conference. This is... Obviously, also, this moment you can listen to the very tense music because I knew in the documentary, you know, this part is very important. And, you know, it's... In the way I have to edit it, I have to put all drama possible in this part of the story because probably this part of the story explains why the Silver War starts, basically.
Nico, congratulations. Pole for the second year in a row, as we said, but perhaps not exactly the way you'd want to achieve it, I guess, with that mistake at the end.
No, definitely not, no. I thought it was over once that happened, and because I thought, you know, the track would ramp up and somebody else could beat the time, but no, of course, you know, in the end, I'm really, really happy though that it worked out. To be on pole, fantastic, you know, at home, and couldn't be better.
So Nico was concerned because he said after the mistake someone could improve behind, but with the yellow flag it's impossible. So, and he said that he got pole on home because I think he lived there in Monaco. So it's his home in some way. And he's German, but...
Well done. Coming to you, Lewis. Obviously, Nico's mistake, ironically, and the subsequent yellow flags meant that you couldn't improve on your lap. Your feelings?
Yeah, it is ironic.
But no,
It's ironic.
it's okay. I was up a couple tenths, so it's okay.
It's so clear. It's so clear that here, obviously, Lewis Hamilton is thinking that Rosberg did it on purpose. You know, he's saying, not directly, but his words, his attitudes, he's super angry. You know, he really thinks Nico did on purpose.
Nico, your thoughts on what happened with Lewis and where your mistake left him? It's obviously you're close friends, you're fighting for race wins, you're fighting for pole, for world championships, but there's no question that you disadvantaged him today.
No, definitely, yeah. Of course, I'm sorry for what happened to Lewis. I didn't know where exactly he was, but once I was reversing, I did see he was coming up. So, of course, yeah, that's not great, but that's the way it is.
And Nico defending his position, but I made a mistake. I didn't want to make the mistake, and I'm sad because I ruined the Lewis Hamilton lap. That was not my intention. The eternal question, or the the most famous question is: did Nico on purpose or not? It's we cannot respond that answer. We cannot do it because we have not the telemetry. We were not in the Rosberg's car. Only Nico knows if he did that on purpose or not. Obviously, if he did it on purpose, he will not admit that he did it on purpose because it's really, you know, it's not nice to do that. It's not nice. But if he did not that on purpose, obviously he has to defend that he don't need it. It just was a mistake. He was pushing for that pole position, you know. So it's a very difficult situation for Nico Rosberg as well.
And Lewis, your response to that, and also obviously when you're last on the track, there's always that risk, isn't there? I suppose you're vulnerable to something like this happening.
I never answer to it.
You don't want to even respond to that. It's true that when you are the second driver in the run, these things can happen, to have a yellow flag in front and to ruin your lap. In this case, Nico was ahead and it caused the yellow flag. If Lewis Hamilton will start the final run before Nico, he will be able to finish the lap, obviously. But obviously here, as I said, Lewis Hamilton probably has his own thoughts. I think he thinks that Nico did on purpose and is not really happy.
Okay.
Difficult. Obviously, I don't know when the relationship between Nico and Hamilton was broken, but I'm sure that this day, probably most of the good vibes they had was disappear. You know, I had the feeling of that. You know, you can see in the faces, in the responses of Lewis. Things here get serious, you know. So let's see the race. Obviously now Hamilton second and Rosberg first. Very difficult to pass, so Nico should win this race in Monaco. But who never knows? Something can happen. There is Ricciardo, by the way. Good start. So Nico first, Lewis second. Oh, crash there. Perez. Safety car. And Nico still first, obviously, and Lewis second. We're very close here. Soft tire by both drivers.
Pit stop window doesn't mean to say you've got to jump through the window, does it?
But also, if the undercut isn't working because it's taking the tyres a little longer to warm up, if you're Rosberg, you don't necessarily want to be coming in first, because then that might just give Lewis free air and a chance to jump it by stopping second.
Yeah, basically here the commentators are saying that Nico is leading, Lewis behind, but when you put here on these tires are difficult to warm up for some reason. Maybe that weekend was difficult to warm up the tires, the medium tires. If you pit first, maybe you have no advantage because you have to warm up the tires, and meanwhile your rival on all tires that are really warm can be faster than you, pit the next lap and to overcut you. You know, the overcut is the opposite to undercut. It's to stay longer than your rival, pit later, and to exit in front. because of the warm-up needed of the new tires. So that's what is commenting the commentators, that if Rosberg pits first, maybe he lost a place because he has to warm up the tires, meanwhile Lewis stay out faster on warm tires. That's the, that's the thing. Wow. Was Adrian, I think a Sauber, it says a Sauber of Adrian Sutil, I think, crash.
As Rosberg now comes in to make his pit stop.
That's where track position counts in Monaco.
And obviously the safety car helps a lot to Rosberg because he can stop free, no problem.
And it's the soft compound tyres going on.
He will not lose a place.
Because he's delayed too much.
And now it's Lewis. Double stop.
He's being held because
Oh, I had to wait.
just going past him. Away goes Lewis now.
Still second.
If I just lost position, negative, so Grosjean ahead, a lapped car. Please just inform me of what is.
Now Hamilton thought he lost a place with Grosjean, but it was not. It's just a lap car, so he's still second.
Option I have. So Lewis, this is going to be a race to the end.
Yeah, obviously now both drivers on medium. No, here is the soft tire. The yellow tire is the soft. And nothing more to do. Basically, Rosberg will win this. No more stops.
20 laps to go, half a chance of that. What chance is there that Lewis Hamilton can pass Nico Rosberg? And it's not looking bright, is it?
No.
For Lewis at the moment.
It's losing gap even. Well, it's close, but
Fuel will become critical if you don't start using longer gears. Lewis is longer in practically every corner in gears, saving fuel for him. So keep using those higher gears, our fuel consumption is increasing.
so interesting. The engineer of Nico saying that it had to go longer in gears to upshift, shorter upshifts to avoid the engine get too much revolutions, and in that way to save fuel. Because if you revs up too much the engine, you consume more fuel. If you upshift a bit earlier, you save a bit of fuel, basically.
Can't really see. Okay, Lewis, what's the problem, mate? Okay, Lewis, just get back to us, mate. Let us know what's up. I can't see on my left eye. I got some kind of dirt in my eye. Is it possible?
Oh, well, that...
Okay, Lewis, if you're not happy, then you just need to box.
That was crazy. That was crazy. I don't know how. Looks some kind of rubber, dot of rubber that is spread out from the tires. For some reason, it was inside of his visor and touching on the eye, and he lost some kind of. He suffered damage on one of his eyes. Something really weird. I never listened to something like that. In any other time in a Formula 1 race.
Instead, Lewis Hamilton was starting to drop back behind Nico Rosberg, and the problem is not with his car, but with his vision.
Hamilton has problems with the vision. You're catching very quick.
And that's Ricciardo, who is putting pressure on Lewis
Rosberg out in front by 6.
with problem of vision.
Then it's Hamilton, then it's Ricciardo battling for second place. Nico Rosberg.
And Nico wins.
Second in the last 4 Grand Prix, comes home now to hit the jackpot in Monaco.
Finally.
The Monaco Grand.
This is the second victory of Rosberg in the season, but it's the first time Nico Rosberg wins this season with Hamilton on track. That's why it's very important, this win for him as well. And also to recover the championship lead as well. Now, Nico is the new championship leader because he was, I think, 3 points behind in Spain. So now he's scored 7 points more than Lewis. That means he will be leading the championship by 4 points.
Yes, Nico. Well done, mate. Well done.
Yes! Thank you very much, everyone. Really amazing, this car. Really amazing.
Behind him, his teammate Lewis Hamilton, still struggling with vision, but he'll now see the checkered flag and he'll welcome second place, I'm sure.
And Lewis finished second. Fortunately, he was able to manage that problem with the vision. But now, as I said, he lost the championship lead. And this is the post-race, a very dramatic moment we will see now. Where is the scenification? I don't know if that works. That word exists on English. I'm not sure, but it's the, let's say, the visual moment where we understand the friendship is broken. Let's watch.
Can you tell us about communication that you've had with Nico since the race? Have you talked directly to each other?
No.
This season, it's impossible, surely, isn't it, to maintain a relationship?
No, it's not impossible.
This interview was made in Canada, the next race, before the next race, but basically to add a bit more of context. And Lewis Hamilton said that he did not talk to Nico about what happened in qualifying in Monaco. So things are not going well in this relationship now.
So it's difficult and more difficult now, for sure, yes, because there's just more at stake, and it's always me against him.
Do you not think...
This montage you can see here with these bubbles of champagne, it's to add more context to the relationship these two guys had. You can see here in this bubble, this is Lewis Hamilton hugging to Nico when they coincide. I think the first time they coincide both in a podium. It was 2008, I think. At that time, Lewis was in McLaren and Rosberg was in Williams, different teams, but they were really good friends. And you can see here the great relationship they had. And I add this montage to put it in the context of the relationship, to understand that this friendship is being broken, unreal. And you can see here Lewis really upset in the Monaco podium, still being angry for what happened in Saturday qualifying.
Communication is important if you're going to kind of clear up any bad feeling.
No. A lot of people in the paddock and a lot of
more moments where they love, they have fun. And Lewis said that he has no communication with Rosberg.
fans think that it was an intentional error you made in Monaco in qualifying. You braked, I think, 12 meters later.
No, that's not true.
It's not factual.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. Nico said, not true. I did not on purpose. We have to believe. We have to believe, obviously. We are not there. We were not there. But people can have his own opinion. What do you think about it? If you think he did on purpose, okay, it's your opinion. But he said he was not. And now is the question. The famous question. Listen.
In terms of mending bridges with your friend?
Oh, well, we're not friends.
Boom. We are not friends. This is the phrase, guys. The phrase that changed everything. And probably one of the moments, because this documentary is so popular and so watched. And why? And this is, I think, this is the moment that I received a lot of comments during all these years about people that is that it was not Formula 1 fan, and thanks to this documentary and the other ones I made about the Silver War, they became in Formula 1 fans, because you know the story is so dramatic. We can see here in this moment, it's two old friends that now his friendship was broken because they have a common goal that only can be achieved by one, to be world champion. Lewis Hamilton said officially, we are not friends. And now, obviously, in the documentary, I have to reflect that doing this in the documentary. The bottle of champagne being broken like a metaphor or symbol that is the friendship that is represented in that bottle of champagne was broken. You know, guys. And now you will see the background. Rosberg with the Monaco trophy winning. You will see Lewis Hamilton passing through. And these pieces of the bottle of champagne, of glass being broken, with some faces in the inside of the glasses. Lewis Hamilton, Rosberg. Very representative. This we are not friends. This image, this moment explains everything. I will put it on just that. You know, that's... You can see, super dramatic, and this is the moment when the relationship, you can see the tension there. This is very symbolic, guys. You can see that happened in Canada, the next race. This is before the next race in Canada, the drivers' parade, that they stop in that place, I don't know why. You can see how uncomfortable is Nico when Luis tried to put his hand or his arm on the Nico's shoulder. You can see the uncomfortable face is having now Nico there. Like things are not going well internally between these guys, you know. We can see that, and that happened in the before the next race, just before. You know, it's really representative. You can see the tension in their faces now, and we go to the next Grand Prix, Canada, Montreal. Very demanding circuit, very long straights, a new battle, and this time, this is the first time, guys, where Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton will face each other as real rivals, no friends anymore. That's why it's very important, this race. Hamilton starts on second. Nico Rosberg on pole position again. Looks that since Monaco, he is on the run. He get back up to speed in qualifying. And now it's the third pole position for Nico of the season, and Hamilton have 4. So things are being equal now in Saturdays. And let's see what happened in this race, because now officially we know that they are not friends. The friendship was broken, and this is the first race after that. Canada. Let's go.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Good start by Hamilton. Ooh. And lock up. Oh, push wide. Well, Nico pushed a bit wide to Lewis there. We can see now they go for it. They go for it. They are not friends anymore. Championship on the air. Forget Lewis, forget Rosberg. Only can be won by one. And now Nico said, I want to be world champion, not you, Lewis. You know, this is this kind of message they are sending. And Lewis lose a place with a Red Bull. That was Vettel, I think.
Loses a place to Sebastian Vettel as they all
yes.
through. A collision at the back.
Oh. Oh, this is hard to see. You know who this driver is. You understand the story. Basically, that was Jules Bianchi. Then unfortunately, in this documentary, he will have a terrible accident, and 1 year later he will pass away because of that accident in Japan. And obviously crashed here, Jules Bianchi, but fortunately he's jumped out of the car, and it's like an image of what would to see in Japan, but it never happened. The crash he had in Japan, he never, you know, after the crash he was unconscious for the rest of his life and until he died. So seeing this image is like, you know, it's painful to see and really sad. Well, but now come back to the context of the documentary. Let's continue watching.
Major crash.
So Rosberg is P1 and Lewis P2.
Staying out, save as much fuel as you can for the moment.
This very important in this Grand Prix. Canada is a circuit that is really demanding on brakes, on fuel. Is super demanding. One of the hardest tracks to save fuel and save brakes, because there are a lot of points where you have to brake really hard. So it's not easy at all. Also, it's hot out there. That doesn't help to the brakes to get cold.
The safety car has peeled away. There's the safety car line, and we can.
Oh no, sorry. Hamilton is third. I said it's second. It's third.
And Nico Rosberg.
Rosberg, Vettel, Hamilton.
Into the lead. There he goes. Lewis Hamilton swoops out from behind the rear wing of the Red Bull.
Here we go.
Hamilton up into second.
And Hamilton is second.
Stays out.
Now stops.
A set of soft compound tyres going on.
Soft, that is the yellow tire, remember. Now same pit stop for Lewis, no problems.
Crowd are cheering. Hamilton's coming back out onto the racetrack. We can see him exiting the pit lane now.
But Nico's still ahead.
Rosberg goes back into the lead, and whilst Rosberg stops.
Now Hamilton has to go for it. Remember, Nico's the championship leader. Hamilton has to win to be championship leader again. Have to push.
It was 3.1 seconds. Hamilton was half a second slower. Rosberg and Hamilton, as we watch from the wall of champions.
Nice putting pressure on Nico.
And the gap between the two Mercedes that was 7/10 now is only half a second.
It's there. It's just there. Nico can feel the pressure now.
For Lewis Hamilton once more, Rosberg will be looking in his mirrors.
And he feel it. Locks up. Oh. And he went wide. And he gained advantage.
Stays ahead.
He gained advantage. It was much closer before to go straight down in the chicane.
Okay, Lewis, Nico is under investigation, so don't take any risks.
Now Nico is under investigation because of that. Obviously, now he's thinking Lewis. This is a theory. It's not. I'm not saying that. But after what happened in Monaco, maybe he's thinking Lewis. He did it on purpose again. You know, to gain advantage. You know, it's like mind games. You know. That's why maybe the engineer was telling to Lewis, don't, stay calm, head down. Maybe he's under investigation. Maybe he gets penalized for that. But no.
penalty for Nico. He's on his final warning for cutting the last chicane.
So basically, Hamilton has to push. Oh no! Again,
We're looking into it.
like in Australia. And Nico also have problems.
We're trying to solve it. We're trying to solve it. Believe your teammate has the same problem.
Look, these Mercedes are going really slowly through the middle sector doing 26s. They're visibly slower in a straight line, aren't they? They're quickly becoming the slowest cars on the track.
That's I love this race because of that. Both drivers looks that they have a similar issue here in Canada. When they are leading by far, they will do 1-2.
Okay, Nico, situation. Both cars have the same problem. We don't think we can resolve it.
Wow.
Obviously, you need to pick the pace up because P3 is catching you now.
And the gap that
wow.
they had over Felipe Massa, I don't think is enough to get Rosberg back out ahead of Massa. Hamilton takes the lead of this race as Felipe Massa goes past
Massa is in Williams.
away down the main straight. Nico Rosberg might be about to lose a
place to Felipe Massa. Exactly.
Moves ahead of the Mercedes. Hamilton
now Hamilton pits and he will lose a place with Massa, but not with Nico. So basically Lewis now has overcut Nico that also have some kind of issue, and now Lewis is ahead. So Massa, Hamilton and Rosberg.
So it's Williams that lead from Hamilton from Rosberg.
He went very deep into the hairpin, did Lewis Hamilton.
Oh. Oh, he has brake issues. This is not the best place to have brake issues.
Yes, he has lost a place.
He went deep.
Oh, Nico's there. Nico passed Lewis.
Rosberg is the car ahead.
Oh, he come back.
To the left-hand side. He lost it.
Oh no, he cannot brake. He cannot brake. It's not the same that Nico did. It's basically Hamilton has lost the brakes. He cannot brake. That's why he's going straight on.
He does what his teammate did a few laps ago.
Letting him through. He's letting through.
That's why he's letting through.
Rosberg takes the place back.
Something smoking at the back of Hamilton's car.
Look at that. No, he cannot brake. He cannot brake. It's over. It's over. It's over.
It's his second retirement of the
Unbelievable, guys. Once again, Hamilton out. Once again, it's the second time in the season. Reliability issues with the engine in Australia, and now brake issues. Let's see if Rosberg can finish the race, because that's issues as well.
Looking after the brakes now, your teammate has a...
Important, now Felipe Massa, that was the Williams that was ahead, now pits again. So that means Rosberg now is still been leading the race. But look at behind how much cars he had without problems. All these cars are catching Rosberg. Force India, Ricciardo on the Red Bull, and then Vettel.
Most important you finish now, looking after the brakes.
So,
Daniel Ricciardo on Nico Rosberg.
and goes Ricciardo. Ricciardo that passed the Force India, now pass Nico for the win.
In Canada, Mercedes failed.
And Daniel Ricciardo wins.
That comes home to take the victory.
But
Rosberg that takes second.
Nico Rosberg finished second, saved 18 points, and gains 18 points difference against his teammate Lewis Hamilton that was not able to finish the race. So at the end of the day, yes, Nico Rosberg did not win the race, but who cares? He gained much more points advantage with Lewis. So now he's ahead by 22 points. So great day for Nico, saving the car with that issue. So yeah, it has issues as you saw. Well, this is something I told before. I told about this episode in short videos in social media. My theory about what happened here is Hamilton and Rosberg were fighting so hard in this race that is really demanding in terms of brakes and fuel and everything, that my theory is that in this battle, Lewis Hamilton pushed so much to try to pass Rosberg that it destroyed his brakes. And also forced to Nico to have this kind of issues with the energy and whatever, because Nico also had to push much more than expected to defend from Lewis. I think both in this battle destroy the car in some way, fighting so hard. That's ironically, but I think it's my theory of what happened there, you know, guys. And it's really symbolic. It's really symbolic about how much you fight or you push your car when you have a goal, that is to, you know, to beat your teammate, to win the championship. You know, it's it's beautiful in some way how these drivers gave everything they have, even if they have to destroy the car to win. You know, it's interesting.
Second run, we've got that.
Well, round 8 of 19. We are closing to the first half of the season. Now Rosberg have a big margin in points on Lewis should to win here.
Just on the downshift.
Oh,
To 6 from
this is qualifying.
The car spins around. That caused the yellow flags, and then Rosberg headed towards him.
And looks okay. Here Hamilton made a mistake, spun, and ruined the Nico Rosberg's lap. That means that pole position for this Grand Prix was for a Williams. Massa was on pole position in this Grand Prix on the Williams. Amazing to see that. By the way, Williams in this season was the 3rd fastest car. Bottas was the teammate of Massa, but Williams have the Mercedes engine here. I think was the first year he had the Mercedes engine because previously had Cosworth, I think, and they were a good car. So basically cars with a Mercedes engine had a big advantage here. And as I said, Williams was the 3rd fastest car, and in this track they were really fast. And Massa was on pole. So basically in this race we have Williams had the Mercedes engine. Yes. I think it was the first year they had. It was previously before V6 Turbo era they had Cosworth, I think. So Hamilton is in P9 after the brakes issues or the problem he had in qualifying, and Rosberg is, I don't remember, let me see, P3, and ahead both Williams. So it's Massa first, Bottas second, both Williams, then it's Rosberg, and in P9 Hamilton. So Hamilton is in the championship much behind in points, and now in this race is 6 places behind Nico. So it has a lot of work to do in this race, Luis.
Williams on the front row, 5 lights ahead of the drivers.
So here we go.
And it's lights out, and away we go in Austria.
Good start by the Williams. We'll start by Luis.
Gets a good start too, and
Oh, Luis passed 2 cars.
Massa heads them into
So 3 cars.
pretty much keep out of trouble. Although
Nico passed Bottas. Nico is second and Luis is 6.
Hamilton also passed the Red Bull as well, and he's
Yes, and he go for 5th.
already up in
Wow, good start.
and he's challenging on the inside of
Wow. Even goes for Alonso.
Lewis Hamilton.
Here we go.
Inside of Fernando Alonso, and he moves.
Wow, in 1 lap. In just 1 lap he recovered from P9 to P4. Very important, crucial to try to lose less time possible. It's just behind Nico now in just a couple of laps. Very important for Luis that to maintain behind Nico. That is his real target. Williams ahead now.
From 3rd place in this race,
It's Nico.
now moves up.
Put the yellow tire, that is the soft.
2.6 seconds for Nico.
Ooh, almost touching the white line. P8 obviously will be.
Hamilton stops. Hamilton back out.
Hamilton stops now.
His teammate Nico Rosberg now coming.
Let's see if I overcut Nico.
Tenths of a second slower. Hamilton's pit stop. That Rosberg was ahead.
Here we go. This is Nico. It's ahead.
He should stay ahead now as you see Hamilton coming out round the.
So Nico still ahead of Luis.
Here comes Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg gets ahead of Felipe Massa.
And very important, Nico overcut Massa, but Lewis Hamilton didn't. So now there is a car between Nico and Lewis, and there are a couple of cars in front that they have to stop yet. But virtually now Nico will be second and Lewis 4th because Bottas has to stop.
Massa stays ahead of Lewis Hamilton in the pit stops. And there goes Hamilton down the inside.
Oh, here we go.
Lewis Hamilton gets past
Easy.
Massa into turn 2.
Easy.
And this is now critical.
Now Bottas,
Can the two
the race leader.
get ahead of both Williams?
Yes.
Along towards
No. Now Nico is the leader. Also overcut the other Williams, Bottas. But Hamilton is there.
turn 2 now. Bottas is ahead of Lewis Hamilton behind Nico Rosberg.
And here we go. This is Nico. Sorry. No. Nico is not leading. This is the race leader, but he has to stop. It's a Force India, the race leader. Perez. And this is Hamilton that has to pass Perez and Bottas, and Rosberg is P1.
Hamilton coming into the pits first.
Wow, this shot is amazing. You can see some fire inside of the Lewis Hamilton brakes. Unfortunately, this time he did not retire. Wow, big flame.
Now comes into the pits.
Second stop.
Carry on their way. Hamilton making his way towards turn 8 now as Tass now.
So
Lewis Hamilton has gone ahead.
now, okay, now in this steam, now Hamilton undercut Williams. Both Williams, I think, are the Force India. So now Hamilton finally is P2 behind Nico.
The pit stops he has.
So you have 30 laps remaining. So looking after the tyres, Lewis next car behind, 2.5.
Oh, it's close. Well, look at the distance. Hamilton is there now. Another duel Mercedes don't want to see.
Force Rosberg into a
Ooh. Ay. Lewis is putting everything he had.
and it's Rosberg, the championship leader, who comes home to win the Austrian.
But was not enough. Nico wins.
Great job, Nico. Great job. Thank you, Paddy. Awesome stuff.
Great. Well, still
29.
nice win by Nico. That means basically, well, I had to say Nico won. At the end, he beat the Williams, but could be expected, to be honest. But for me, it was more impressive the Lewis Hamilton race here because he was in P9, and he knew he had to recover places really quick to be just behind Nico, you know, to try to fight with him. And he was fighting with him until last lap. He put big pressure on Nico, and he forced a mistake. So great win by Nico, but for me, Lewis Hamilton, great race as well. He saved the day. I mean, he finished second at the end, starting 9th. So he only lost 7 points, still losing points against Nico. Now the gap is 29 points in favor of Nico. But considering when he started, for me, save the day, Lewis here.
9-point lead off the Silverstone, a track that you know well, a track which I tried to catch you in the last few laps last year, but you got a couple of good wins there, and you're very strong at Silverstone, so Lewis's home track, so the battle continues. Looking forward to
Mark Webber, by the way.
for Mercedes as well. So
Mark Webber really young. Here, Mark Webber, Australian driver, he was racing in Formula 1 until 2013 in Red Bull Racing. By the way, now Webber is I think is the manager of Oscar Piastri, by the way, both Australians. I think it's Mark Webber who is managing the career of Oscar Piastri, that maybe, who knows, is world champion this Sunday in Abu Dhabi. But here, as I said, Mark Webber was just retired previous year. So at that point, here Mark Webber was a very important, let's say, person in the F1 world, to say in some way.
So how's the feeling for that one?
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to the next one, home race. So it would be awesome to do another 1-2 there. That would be great to give something back to all of our colleagues back in the factory. And so I'm looking forward to that.
I'll move on to the next race. That is Silverstone, home race. The home race of Mercedes, Silverstone. Lewis have a disadvantage of 29 points over Nico Rosberg. There is not a better place to start to recover points against Nico than in his home, in UK, in the British Grand Prix. And this is the qualifying session that was on rain conditions. Let's see what happened.
It was a quite crazy qualifying, you know, just changing all the time, and that makes it very, very difficult. With the soft tires, it started to rain quite a lot just in the last 3 corners, so lost a lot of time there. And then everywhere else, it was quite wet also on the in-lap, so I was sure, you know, I told the guys already, that's it. And then we were sitting in the box, and and we just came to a general conclusion, might as well go out and have a look at the track, you know, and at least, because if you don't have a look, then there's no chance. If you have a look, there's a tiny chance, you know. I crossed the line, you know, in Lewis's gearbox, because I had to be there, because otherwise it went red. So I had to be as fast as possible in order to be able to do that last lap. So as I crossed the line, it went red, like instantly. It was pretty, very, very close call. And I think all in all, it was just a really good team effort, yeah. Everybody working together, my engineers together with me, just made all the right calls, and it worked out, and that's fantastic to have such a qualifying, you know, where everything goes well in the end, and comfortable pole in the end, it's awesome.
So basically, you can see that Nico was in pole, but in the top 3 finishes in qualifying was not Lewis. So that means Lewis had not a good qualifying here, and you can see the explanation of Nico how he was managing a very difficult qualifying, mixed conditions, rain. drying out, getting worse, and was a great pole. Another pole position in this phase of the season. You can see how Nico Rosberg is, it's now leading in qualifying and races. It's sadly the opposite to what happened at the beginning of the season. Now it's Nico the fastest driver constantly. That is changing. Now it's Hamilton who is suffering every single week, and now you can see super disappointed here, Luis. Look at
incredibly disappointed.
Really disappointed.
The circuit would dry out so fast.
Obviously not. No. I don't really have anything to say to you at the moment. So.
And as you can see, really, really disappointed. Probably because I don't remember. There is not much more context about this qualifying session, but probably for some reason Luis probably was not in the right moment in this qualifying when the track was in better conditions, more dry. Probably he did not take the advantage of that. Probably that's why he will start. I don't know in which place it starts. Let's see now this race. British Grand Prix. Luis, come on, you have to do something to cut the difference with Nico in points. And here we go. It's not raining this time. And Lewis Hamilton will start in 6th place. Well, it's not so critical. It's 6th place. But once again, now Lewis, it's so different to what we saw at the beginning of the season when he was starting on pole position constantly. Now it's for different circumstances in qualifying, issues, rain conditions. He's starting really at the back. He has to recover places. He had to do it again, as he did in Austria. But this time Nico have no cars in front. It's P1 since the beginning, so it will be difficult for Lewis. He has to be really quick today. Remember, 29 lap points difference with Nico. He needs to finish in front of Nico this race.
As the lights go on ahead of the drivers, and it's
here we go.
away we go.
Good start by Lewis again. P5 now.
As Lewis Hamilton comes up to
Oh, passing Vettel by the outside. Oof.
Between Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel, somebody's gone very, very deep, haven't they?
Wow, that was terrible. Oh, look. Oof, what a crash.
That's a big shot.
What a crash.
The Ferrari, it takes the Williams there.
Oof.
Mass of the Caterham getting caught up.
Wow, that was Kimi Raikkonen crashing into the bar. That was serious. I mean, he crashed because he did not crash with the Tech Pro barriers. He crashed with the fence, with the the barriers that are much more harder, much more stiff, and this impact at such a high speed. I think Raikkonen had some kind of pain in one of his legs because of that. Serious hit. Red flag to repair the barriers. You can see how here is suffering Kimi with one of his legs. It's not working properly. The hit was big. Fortunately, nothing happened. I think he will be racing for the next of the season, but the crash was important for Kimi Raikkonen here. Now repairing the barriers.
Go racing once more.
So it's Nico in P4.
Hamilton just a bit too far back.
And Hamilton is in P4.
Is he going to do it? No, he has to lift off.
Ooh.
Wide though, and Hamilton now.
P3 now.
And this then will be a move up the inside of Brookland, and Jensen left him room, but that's all he needed. Game on.
Well, I'm thinking now, looking at the McLaren of Jenson Button in this season, that was not really nice to see, to have 2 silver cars, because at that time McLaren was painting silver, as traditionally they did when they had the Mercedes engines, but now we have a Mercedes team as well that they are on silver. So I think in these times, I think McLaren should change to papaya right now in these moments of the season, on this, in 2014 or even in 2010 when Mercedes joined in Formula 1, because to have 2 silver cars is not good for sponsors, especially to have similar cars from different teams. I think sponsors would like to have very different cars, to differentiate his sponsors from their cars from the others. I mean, it's just my opinion, but I think that it's not nice to have 2 very similar cars. But anyway, come back to the context of the documentary. Nice, Luis. Now P2. Now I have to change Rosberg. It's in home. This is his brother.
1 and 2, it's Rosberg a long way out.
He has to go for it.
Hamilton started 6th. to the pits comes Nico Rosberg. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then.
Well, the stop.
On Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, as we thought.
So Nico appeared first, and there is Lewis, 5 seconds behind, something like that. Oh.
We're looking at it.
But
That's the lead.
That's Lewis Hamilton getting past. Well, we heard that team radio message.
Wow.
Consider slowing me down just to get me to the finish line. Copy that, Nico. We will advise.
Now
Change at the moment on the gearbox settings.
it's Nico. Obviously, people was really happy because Lewis was racing at home, and it was a teammate battle for the championship. People knew that these problems of Rosberg will be good for Lewis. That's why they are cheating. I understand. It's normal. It's logical.
Okay, really having big problems with the gearbox, so please advise. Stay in sec, Nico. Stay in sec. Yeah, you don't have drive at the moment. If you don't have drive.
It's over, I think.
Okay, I'm trying everything. Anything else I can do?
No.
Not at the moment. We're still looking. Okay, so stop.
Bye. It's done.
Turn off, Nico.
It's done. This is, I think, this is it's the first retirement of Rosberg in 2014. I think this is the very, well, no, if we don't consider the problem he had in Canada and he finished second, this is the first reliability issue of Nico Rosberg of the season. And being honest, thinking in the future of the championship, all we know, if you have no idea about the season, who won the championship, whatever, but this race could be very important because here Rosberg lost a big gap in Boyle previously with Lewis Hamilton of 29 points. You know, this problem for Rosberg have a big impact for the rest of the season. This failure on the gearbox.
First DNF of the season for Rosberg.
And first DNF of the season. Yeah, and in the moment he had the best. He was in the best shape in qualifying, leading in race. If he will be able to win, the points advantage with Lewis here after this race will be 36 points, more than one race distance.
It's a time to do it. It's Hamilton.
But it's Lewis.
Saying thank you and winning the British.
That come back to win again since when was the last time he won in Spain? In Spain, it was in Spain.
Grand Prix
England! Great feeling, guys. I couldn't be happier. I'm sorry about yesterday, but fantastic job today, this weekend, and as always.
And at the end, look at that. The gap now is only 4 points. It's in contention right now, thanks to this problem of Nico Rosberg. It's true that Lewis Hamilton was unlucky in Australia, and now Nico Rosberg was unlucky in Silverstone. So at the end, the bad luck, to say in some ways, equal. You know that now, game on again. Only 4 points between these two drivers. And Lewis did a bad qualifying. He was in a bad momentum, but was lucky this time. But he's in contention because he never gave up and he was there. And now he won in Silverstone and he's just there.
Oh, jeez, I can't believe it.
I can't believe it, said Luis. I can't believe I win this race. Obviously, after all the problems he had and in these previous races, I think it was, for him, this victory should to be really nice. After all the difficulties he had in Canada with the DNF. I said before that Hamilton retired one time in Australia. No, he retired twice. Australia and Canada. And Rosberg only at Silverstone. So yeah.
Nico, I want you to. What happened to Nico? I want you to. He got sprung. Okay. Yeah.
I was asking Valtteri Bottas there, what happened to Nico? Gearbox problem. Bottas trying to understand what happened to Nico in the championship context, probably as driver and as a spectator as well. The future teammate of Lewis Hamilton. In that time, we didn't know, but this man should be the future teammate of Lewis. Here, Lewis is like, I don't know what happened to him. It's like, not sure how to describe this. I mean, it has to be really happy, but it's like relief, It's like, I'm the champions in contention again, no? I don't know what is running through his mind here, but it's really weird.
do you know the point situation now at the end of race 9?
I assume that we're 4 points behind now. So I think this weekend really just showed that, for one, you never give up. And I really, yesterday, it wasn't a case of giving up. I didn't think I could do the lap. I was really shocked that the last sector was so fast. But coming here today, I had my family with me, just focused. The support from the fans, as I said, just spurred me on, and I really couldn't have done it without them.
Well, congratulations to Lewis Hamilton.
Thank you,
and to all
guys.
the fans around the world. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks at the German Grand Prix. Thank you.
This is the kind of Lewis I'm missing now in Ferrari. This kind of Lewis that is motivated. The never give ups, as he said. It's like I miss this Lewis in Ferrari, and I think this is the Lewis we need in the future to see him to fight on top again. And that was one of his best strengths, never give up, and he was doing here. Okay, that was round 9. So basically, now we go to round 10 of 19 German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. And now it's time for qualifying session. The barrel is staying on the air, only 4 points between Nico and Lewis. Let's see what happened. Qualifying session, German Grand Prix in Hockenheim. Great track. What a shame we have not this track in Formula 1 again. It was even greater, the previous layout that was running until 2002, I think. It was even better. But Hockenheim is a great track for Formula 1. We have great races here. I would like to see this track again in the future in the calendar. Oh, this is Lewis.
Okay, Lewis, let us know you're okay. Lewis, just
Yeah, I'm okay. Something hit the brakes and the brakes failed.
Key difficult time in qualifying.
Okay, so once again, this season is incredible. Once again, Lewis Hamilton, after a great comeback in Silverstone, starts in qualifying crashing. I think it was Q1. Probably he will start in last in Germany.
For Lewis Hamilton, I believe there's been.
And this is Niki Lauda explaining the problems Lewis Hamilton had in that corner. By the way, Niki Lauda, who passed away in 2019, Niki Lauda is 3 times Formula 1 world champion, Austrian driver, very talented in the 70s and the 80s. And since I don't remember what year joining Mercedes, but since 2000, I think since the moment Mercedes joining Formula 1 again in 2010, he was there in a role of advisor or something like that. And people said that Niki Lauda this person was there thanks to Niki. Lewis joined in Mercedes in 2014 because Niki was in 2013 because people said that Niki convinced Lewis in 2012 when he was in McLaren to join Mercedes in 2013 thanks to this man. So he was a very important person in the Lewis Hamilton career, also in the Mercedes career, obviously, because Mercedes won all this championship and Niki Lauda was there as advisor. So it's also was a very important driver, 3 times world champion, as I said. It's a very important person in the Formula 1 world. That's what I'm trying to say. Here, as an advisor or Mercedes team member in some way, is trying to explain the problem, the accident Lewis Hamilton had in the qualifying session of the German Grand Prix.
At least 9 brake failures this year with those discs. Is that a fact?
No, there have been 2. This was the second one of the same, same way.
Martin Brundle said, "Is the 9th time your brakes failed?" And Niki said, no, just two.
The disc broke and failed, and therefore we changed now. We have to change the brakes now, or the discs now. And I'm upset that Lewis now has to start all the way from the back.
It's true that Lewis Hamilton was having much problems with the brakes than Nico, but because the driving style of Lewis always was in braking. Lewis is a driver that really likes to brake really late, and probably for the driving style of Lewis, maybe he was destroying more brakes than Nico. Maybe that's why maybe he had the troubles he had in Canada now here. Maybe, but in qualifying he's trying to have some kind of brake issues because in qualifying is not in race where you have to do a lot of laps consecutive laps. In qualifying, you have not to do consecutive laps. It's really difficult to have brake failure because you brake too much in qualifying, you know, but for some reason happened here as well.
It's annoying, but this is the way it is.
What have you been able to say to Lewis after the accident yesterday or this morning? Anything he needs talking through with you?
After the accident, he was certainly depressed. First of all, he hurt himself. Yeah, all the body is sore. And I spoke to him and I simply explained what we all know. It's motor racing, things can happen. And his spirit is changed. Today he's back to absolutely normal, highly motivated to make the best out of his terrible starting position.
So, Lewis Hamilton will start in 20. I don't know if, I'm not sure if it's last. At this time, I don't remember how much cars were on the grid. I think we had 24 cars in that time. I'm not sure now. Anyways, 20. And Nico, I think, is on pole. So, more difficulties for Lewis Hamilton here. So, but let's see what he's able to do. Can he recover places and to catch Nico? Obviously, very difficult. He will need safety cars or something like that. But it's a shame. After the recovery he did in Silverstone, once again, he's in a really bad position. For Lewis Hamilton, this season is been terribly disappointed. All the times he's in advantage, something happened and has to recover again. So let's see what he can do now. So, Nico is on pole. Yes. And Lewis in P20. He has to recover a lot of places now. Nico Rosberg racing at home, by the way, in Germany.
But it's Nico Rosberg away. There's Kevin Magnussen trying to come down the inside.
The start. Ooh, wow. Wow. Use. I forget that accident. Felipe Massa. Similar to what we saw in Bahrain with Esteban Gutierrez, but even harder because it was at much higher speed. Fortunately, Massa was okay.
First lap incident for the second race in a row. No surprise, Martin, that the safety car is out.
Safety car, Lewis.
Once again, and it's Nico Rosberg then that will lead them past the grandstands and down.
Okay, now Nico had the advantage because in P17.
Max Chilton, there's one overtake done.
P16 now.
Hamilton is going for it here on past
P15.
very quickly onto
P14, P13. Obviously, passing these cars is not very difficult. Our cars are much slower, but you have to do it.
So we come to Bottas behind us, 1.8. So
I see. Okay, it's Bottas, the driver behind. Oh! Yeah, I think it touched the McLaren.
being passed by not one but two cars. And
wow, in the middle, passing both.
into this hairpin, Ricardo.
The switchback now.
There goes Hamilton again. Down.
Wow.
Braking, locks off.
Oof.
And there's a bit of bodywork flies off the Ferrari.
Oh, but he passed. Critical moment. He lost some kind of. I don't know if he lost some kind of piece of the front wing or something. Something was broken. I think it was from the Raikkonen's car. A very risk move there, but you know, I think Lewis Hamilton at that point knew that he had to give everything he had to try to catch Nico as soon as possible, or at least to finish as high as possible to minimize points lost against Rosberg.
As into the pits comes our race leader, Nico Rosberg, and Hamilton now.
Rosberg pits.
To the pits, another set of soft compound.
Lewis.
Hamilton and
We lock up there.
tires that are that much.
He's fighting with a Red Bull.
As well, tries a little switcheroo on Daniel Ricciardo.
And Ricciardo.
Because Hamilton gets himself ahead of the
P7.
Not expecting any rain before the end of the race.
Okay, nice. Here we go. It's a McLaren. I think it's Button, no?
No, that's Jensen.
Aye.
And they come.
Wow, again. Whoa, now I had damage in the front wing. What a terrible race by Lewis. He crashed twice. It's not the best race of Lewis. And now he has damage in the front wing, I think. And now I think, look at the front wing of Lewis. I think some kind of piece come off the end plate, I think.
To the left hand.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's broken. It's broken. Completely broken. He will lose aerodynamic points there. Yeah, Lewis said, I thought it was letting me pass before here. I think it was the McLaren of Jenson Button here. Yeah, it's right, Lewis, because it's like Button here is not like doing the corner like if he was alone. It's like, look that he's giving pass Lewis. It's true that Button here took the corner in a really weird way. Like, by the outside. As Lewis Hamilton said, he thought he was letting him pass, but he should not, because he was racing with him. He's fighting for race position. It's not a lap car. Really strange what Button did there. That's why Hamilton go for it and crash. So he was right, Lewis, here. It was really, really strange.
Oh, that's Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton, and they collide at turn 6, and there is damage to the left-hand side.
I thought he was letting me pass.
Exactly.
Okay, no worries, Lewis. We're looking at data. Everything looks okay at the moment.
Yeah, but it has damage. Yeah, sadly. It's apologies. Because Lewis is saying with his hand, sorry man, I don't want to crash with you. Look at the hand.
Pace advantage.
SP6.
And up into 6th place.
Good recovery anyway with a front wing damage.
Nico Rosberg, Rudy Atoll, and 5th place now for Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, P5. Now Rosberg still leading. No problem for him. And Lewis, interesting, he did not change the front wing. He did not change the front wing because probably team thought that he was not losing too much, and you probably will lose more time changing the front wing than stay with him. Now passing Fernando Alonso for P3. Now he's on the podium, Lewis. And Bottas, wow, he's catching P2 with the front wing broken. Unbelievable. The Williams was a good car.
German Grand Prix.
Great driving.
Yes, thank you.
Nico wins again.
20th to 3rd.
Okay, Lewis, great.
Great race by Lewis here. Great race. So basically, he only lost 10 points. It could be much worse starting P20. So basically, it saved in some way the day, Lewis Hamilton here. Only 14 points behind. And at the end, he was not able to pass Bottas, finished third, because it's true that the Williams was really fast on the straight, and that Mercedes engine as well. Always Williams was fast in the straights, but nowadays it's a very fast car in a straight line. Maybe some teams should to go to the Williams factory and to copy something about them for straight line speed, because historically, I always say the same. I always listen the same, and I always saw the same. Williams in a straight line is a rocket. Like 10 years ago, it was the same. It's like another German anthem to celebrate that Nico Rosberg was winning at home, his home Grand Prix, and still leading, still on advantage, Nico. In round 10, more than a half of the championship complete, and Nico still leading the championship. And guys, I think this is the moment. We have here 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it's the moment to stop here this live stream. We have watched the first half of the documentary, and I think it's the ideal moment to stop here to save the day and to wait until the next time I will be on live to complete the documentary. Commenting, I hope you really enjoy this session with me, but we have to watch the last part, that is the most interesting, when the championship is decided. But before to say goodbye, let me say you a couple of things that it's about. As I said, this documentary, not only this documentary, and the rest of my videos can be watched on my website, that is dannyfloss.com. All my edits and documentaries are here. So basically, my website, that is this one, you can watch most of my videos. Also on YouTube, in my YouTube channel, most of them are, but not all the documentaries are on YouTube. The documentaries that are not on YouTube are on my website, that is dannyfloss.com, as I said before. So, as I said, and obviously, if you watch any video here, like the origins of the Civil War, as you can see in this video player of all videos, you have these buttons, the Patreon button and the donate button. Basically, this is a way to send me your support to me. If you really enjoy and you appreciate all the work I was putting in my documentaries, in the Civil War and the others, you can donate. This is a link that goes to my PayPal wall, where you can donate and to contribute to help me as a content creator if you want, or also you have the option to Patreon. Patreon is a platform where people can support their favorite creators, and I have a Patreon page. Basically, you have 2 membership options here: supporter ticket or premium pass. Basically, if you just want to support my work and that's it, on Patreon you can get the support supporter ticket, and it's in euros here, but you can pay in a lot of currencies, not only in euros. You can pay in much more currencies, so don't worry about it. It's in euros because I'm located in Europe. That's why it shows me in euros the price. But if you are in other part of the world with different currency, you will see your currency. And if you want more, you can get the premium pass. This is a way where you can support me much more, and in addition you will get some benefits, as you will get access to my feed on Patreon, where I share a lot of information about my edits. I tell exclusive information, insights about how I make my edits, and also your name will be at the end of my videos. At the end of my videos, you will see at the end a couple of list names, that is people that is part of the premium pass. You know, it's a way to say thank you to you, people who really supports a lot my work on it. So these are the two ways you can support my work, guys. I would like to say you, because some people say me sometimes, Danny, I love your work. I can't believe you know, you don't receive the recognition you deserve, and I don't think that. But some people ask to me, there is a way I can support you, and was okay. This is the way you can do it, guys. If you really love all the hard work I put on these documentaries, is the way you can do it. And if you are, for example, big fan of the Silver War documentary, on Patreon, if you get the premium pass, you can get access to the Silver War collection. You know, basically, here I have posts where I reveal all the music that sounds in the documentaries, in the Silver War documentaries. I create lists with the name of every song and links to that every single song, where you can listen the full music playlist of the Silver War documentaries. If you are really fan of the music, well, here I have some informative videos about where to watch the Silver Wars 2016, secrets behind the new look of the Silver War. Here I explain the full process of the new documentary, the new version I made of the 2016 Silver War documentary, where I changed colors, images. I did a lot of changes that are really well explained here. A storytelling masterclass like this one, where I explain how I was talking about this video, Origins of the Silver War, and about how I build the story in terms of a storyline, how I was thinking the story, how I build the story in my mind to reflect that in the documentary. It's a masterclass where I explain little by little how I did it. More videos revealing more details, exclusive information about the Silver War. There are more collections about other documentaries, as the F1, the F124 documentary I made, where, you know, there is exclusive content here. Much more posts if you get a premium pass, where, for example, I explain my last edit I'm thinking. This is the next edit I will make. I'm giving more details to people who join in the premium pass. A lot of content. Basically, Patreon is a platform where you can get a lot of content from me, exclusive info about my edits, my videos, everything. And also, it's a way to support my work on it. As I said, apart from that, in the next live, we will be watching the second part of this documentary. There is Origins of the Silver War F1 2014, the most intense part. You have to watch it and don't miss it after watch this one. And thank you so much to all people who was here on the chat, writing in the chat. I was reading your messages. Thank you so much, guys, for staying here with me in the live. I really appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed this watch along of this documentary. That is really nice. And as I said, see you in probably next week. I will be on live reacting to the final part of this documentary. And now for people who is watching the replay of this live in the future, basically I will place the second part of this watch along here at this point. So thank you so much, guys. See you in next week to watch the final part of this documentary that is amazing. See you.